bustier. So I'm connecting my bustier right here to that part, and it runs into the armhole. So I'm going to divide my this is center line, this is the midline running to meet the curve, okay, to meet the yoke. So from that center line I come in by 0.75, and on this I come in by 0.75. So I'm going to connect right away. I'll flip my ruler here and connect. So if you look at this, you can see that we have all of this. The part I'm marking now, that is the part of the bustier that will be cut. But because this bustier, this neckline is running into the armhole, not into the armhole. Remember, if it's going into the armhole, we don't need to replace. But since it's coming not at the armhole, I'm going to replace from this point the 1.5. This 1.5 will be replaced here to avoid shortage. So once that is done, I'm going to connect back this way into the armhole. So it has been replaced and has been taken care of. So the next I will do is to go to the under bust. Take my under bust, divide by 4. So what I have left, I'm going to share 0.2 here, 0.25 and 1.25. That is for my own bust calculation. So if you are making for yourself, please ensure you take your under bust firmly. Whatever result you have, divide by 4, then mark and share 0.25 in front and all that. Okay, so you can watch other videos on this channel to understand how to contour your underbust very appropriately. So I've contoured my underbust and we are done. So I'm going to cut now. That is what we need for the front. So for the back neckline, you are still going to use this pattern for your back neckline. Okay, because you need this part to be joined to the back and this part to be joined. So you can also design using this same pattern. So I'm not going to show the back. I need you to be creative. At least you have an idea right now on how to go about this pattern yoke neckline. So I will just go into the armhole. As you can see, I will go into the neckline and I'm going to cut right here. So I've cut and I'm going to cut my center front. So here I'm going to cut through my underbust contour line and separate this. I will cut through my underbust on the other part, go into the curve and take off the darts, close up my bust dart, very important. Close up your bust dart. So once you close up your bust darts, next you will do is to seal up. Can you see? So you have your bustier, okay? So this is going to be center unfold. This will be cut 2 times. So the next you will do is to match up to ensure you have this blended appropriately. So if it's not blended appropriately, this is what I will do for this, okay? I'm matching chest line to chest line, and you see we have a whole lot of shortage. So this is what I want to do for this shortage, because we have our lace to be placed, not to be sewn. So this is it. Can you see that? So I'll just cut it off, and it does not affect anything at all. It does not affect anything, believe me. It has nothing to affect on this. So that is that. By the time you sew your bustier, you have your bustier cup. Once you are done sewing your bustier cup, you come in, and please, you need to also make a notch on where to start, or make a mark. You can also use a pin, so that once you are done sewing your bustier, and sewing your lace. You will sew your lace and turn, trim it off, give it a good press the way you know how. Sew your bustier completely the way you know how, and you now come over and do what? Place this on top. So you'll be placing this on top of this, as you can see. Okay, so right here you will notice the curve is too inwards. Okay, so you can just come back and bring back the curve the way it should be, and it does not affect anything at all. So I'll just trim off that part I joined together. I noticed there's an excess, so that is that. So by the time you sew everything together, so you can also decide to sew before you cut, okay, to be sure you have this appropriately at the right place. So this is it, and that is what you expected to have. So at the end of the day, everything has been turned. You can now either stitch on top of it and use the cut out of your lace appliques to cover the stitches. So this is going to be done after you have turned your lining with this. Your lining is going to be turned first with this. So when you are sewing this, or you can tack so it does not show on the lining. So just play with it and you come out with a better result. So that is how I come to the end of this tutorial, and I believe this tutorial was helpful. So the back piece of this yoke will be exactly like this, only that the neckline will be high, or it depends on the neckline you want to create. So thank you very much for coming once again to this tutorial, and see you in the next class.